Another beautiful, clear day in Yokohama. Still a slight chill in the air. Mid-January. Geez, I guess I only have 9 days left in Japan, but hey, no sense thinking about it that way. Let's think about it as I got 9 days till I go to South Korea. You know, keep it ball rolling, man. Keep it all rolling. Don't try to hold on too hard to the past, son. And to be fair, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with myself, although I think the first thing I'll do, I'm gonna go walk up the stairs and get a Zelda coffee, because I'm actually getting on a train soon, but I could use a coffee. I could use a Zelda coffee, and if I go up these stairs and walk up this hill, there is a machine that has the Zelda coffee. I was looking at what should I do with myself today, and there's that street Doboita that's famous from Shenmue. That you know, it's on my list, but it's like reflected. I guess I'll explain when I go there. But I'm going there like in proxy. It seems like it'd probably be kind of cool. But I got to go to Yokohama Station, and then it's about an hour from there. I was like, oh, what if I just went out to the coast, more to the west? And I have to go to Yokohama Station, and it's about an hour. If I did want to go back into Tokyo, I don't know if I'll get around to that, but I'd have to go to Yokohama Station, and it's about an hour. And if I wanted to go back to West Tokyo, I mean, it's about an hour if I get an express, which I'm not sure if there are westerly midday expresses. And then that's only to Hachioji Station. So realistically, it's more like an hour and a half at best. Might be more like 2.5 hours. That's probably not realistic. But basically, everything's an hour from here. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know which one to do. Or I could do none and just stay in this neighborhood. But then I realized last night when I took the train back, was actually kind of visually cool. Once I left that park with the 3 lakes, and I walked to the next station, which was a ways, so it was dark by the time I got there. And the station was pretty big, though the neighborhood didn't really grow that much. But by that point, with the sun down, I could see in the distance a bunch of big buildings on the horizon. It looked really cool. It looked more like a painted backdrop than reality, because there were so few big buildings in the way. So you could see this city way in the distance. And I looked on the map and I'm like, what is this one? It's either Meguro City or Setagaya. Actually, I think maybe I could see them both. And I wasn't really close. I was only like halfway. It'd still be a very long walk. But I was like, Setagaya. Perfect. What a perfect loop. Because if you recall, way back when I first got to Japan on this trip, Setagaya City is the first place I went. Oh, there's the Blue Dome house. So yeah, I was like, geez, almost a full loop. That's kind of cool. But I got on that train and headed back towards Yokohama Station. And then I switched over to another train whose name I don't recall right now, but this one to take me to my Airbnb. It continues on to a place called Zushi. So I was like, you know, I just need a reason to go somewhere. I don't care where or why. Why not that? Because that's the one where I don't need to first go to Yokohama Station and then recalibrate. I can just get on the train that's right by my Airbnb, and rather than go central to Yokohama Station, I can go the other way to Zushi. And there's some parks, some seaside. I'm curious about the seaside. We'll see how it goes, because it's so awesome right where I am, because this is touristy Bayside. But then if you go east of here, that's like insane amounts of factories and power plants and shipping container stuff. So I just want to see what the southerly coast is like. There's definitely some beaches and stuff down there that seem a little rough, like more like beaches you go to surf than to hang out on the beach. But that could be fine for me, because I'm not gonna hang out on the beach. You know, I'm not looking to send out a blanket. I just want to walk. So if it's kind of a messed up beach full of driftwood and shit, I don't think I'll mind. But let's start with Zushi. Gorok Man again. Hey there, Gorok Man. Oh my god, I fucking love this coffee. Dude, it's such a shame that this is gonna be gone next time I come to Japan. since they only make a Zelda game every fucking zillion years. Yeah, what a turnaround. I was definitely a little dubious of Boss Coffee, but the Boss Coffee fucking Tears of the Kingdom Zelda, I just can't believe how good it is. It's so weird. You guys, you clearly know how to make good coffee. You pull it out when it's sponsorship time. Why not do that all the time? What could they call this? Like once the Zelda sponsorship is over, the Newtopia coffee? The Golden Axe Warrior coffee? So that's my plan. I'm gonna go back down the hill now to Zushi Station. No, not to Zushi Station. I don't know what the station's called. I'm going to Zushi, and I know there's like a park and some kind of seaside stuff, something. Whatever, we'll see. That's the point. We'll see what's there. Man, also, I did a lot of walking yesterday, but it is weird how this up and down of this terrain, the constant up and downs of the mountains here, it is a whole new type of thing where my knee hasn't been bad, and my hip that I somehow messed up in West Tokyo seems fine. It hasn't hurt at all. Now it is the ankles, the backs of my ankles. Like I don't notice it as I'm walking around. Then I'll come home and lay down for a bit because my little room is so tiny that there's no desk or anything, so I just have to recline on my futon to use my computer. And then when I get up to go pee or something, it's like, fuck, ow, my Achilles heels. Like it feels like I got kicked by a tiny goblin man in the back of my legs. I don't know. I don't know why that's the image that comes to mind. But yeah, just different terrains, different pains, man. I mean, I guess it's good though. It's good to spread them around. My previous pains are successfully healing. But yeah, I really got to do a little less walking. So I think some train time will be good today. Oh geez, and my sock I noticed too, just the sock I was wearing yesterday has got a bunch of holes developing in it. That's how much I'm fucking walking. It's like, geez, I gotta calm the fuck down, man. Don't walk halfway to Setagaya, that's a little much. But alright, the station, since I've only ever taken it like that one time, yesterday night, I'm not even quite sure where it is, but it's right around here somewhere. It's very close. Well, the train systems definitely work different when you're coming home from work, because that train I was on yesterday, whatever that jingle signifies, certainly doesn't need to be that long. Anyway, yeah, that train I was on yesterday, I mean, it went all the way from where I was, way the fuck out, halfway to Setagaya, all the way back to Yokohama Station in one stop. Like, that was one go. It was a really long, fast ride. Because, yeah, people are coming home from work. They're like, we ain't got time for this. Express everywhere. So then whatever the other train was I was on that went to Zushi, that ain't a thing right now because it's like 11:30 in the morning. It's really just me, some old ladies, and some other various indigent men. So these are all just local, slow trains. So I only got to Isago Station, not very far. But because it's such a small station, there is nowhere to transfer to. I just gotta wait for the next train and just it'll take me further. And the whole reason I pulled out this recorder is I was gonna say like, it is nice just to be at a random station. Just to be at a random station on a sunny day. But it's only fun with my headphones in. Once I've got this recorder out, man, the announcements never stop at these stations. They're just constantly blaring announcements. I need to remember that. I need to stop recording at train stations. It sucks. It's a miserable experience. So I'll turn this thing off now and just continue on my journey. Of course, they stopped talking now. Though as soon as I start talking, it's gonna come back on. Okay, well, I just want to say real quick. So the movie from up on Poppy Hill, that by the amazing view at Bayview Park, there's a plaque about this movie, this Studio Ghibli movie, and it's like, hey, this is the place. The girl put up her flags right here. Here's a commemorative flag thing, whatever. Anyway, I watched that movie. It's no damn good. It's really boring. I still don't understand Studio Ghibli. I don't even like the style, the overly cartoony Tintin style of these gormless characters. They all just look so stunned and stupid all the time. And yeah, I don't know. I still don't get it, man. If you just love the shit out of Studio Ghibli, expand your fucking horizons, man. Watch some more shit, because I don't fucking get it. This shit's not that good. It's not that good, okay? Now I'm gonna turn off the recorder. Alright, here's the first. This is me from later in the day, back at the little Airbnb. Not bad after all these episodes, I guess, that I haven't lost any recordings, but I noticed after I recorded this little bit where I got to the next station, which is Ofuna Station, and I yammered a bit, and then I sat down to eat some food, and then next time I looked at this recorder, it was like 20 minutes deep. It was just still recording. So I was like, oh, that's strange. I must have just forgot to stop the recording. So I guess that it's just going to be, 15 minutes of dead air or whatever. No problem. I'll just edit that out. But now that I'm checking, now that I got back, it looks like I somehow did the classic. I thought I turned off the recorder, but I only at that point turned it on. So I only had the dead air and not the stuff. But that's okay. Let me just give you the recap of this little bit. So I went to Ofuna Station, and from there, the part that I was in seemed very similar to Haijima Station, but I could see that there was a corridor that led to more stations, so it clearly was bigger. But my first impression was Haijima-esque, and then just trying to figure out where to go next, not a big problem. Like, I do find that these stations are fun. It's so different from, like, I guess the difference is above ground or below ground train. Like the subways in Tokyo, just a disaster. Just not fun to navigate, not fun to get lost in, not fun to spend too much time in. But the trains that are above ground, like, they're just way easier to figure out, way fewer routes, and you're above ground. You're looking out the window, you're watching stuff go by. It's just cooler. It's way better. So from here, I found a train heading in the direction of Atami, which is way down around the bay. Way southwest, but the train actually didn't go that far, and I didn't get nearly that far, but just in that direction. And that's what I like about it. You can just point yourself in a direction, and you'll just go to the major routes, and it's just all good. And speaking of looking out the window, that is, as I was going by, I did go by the big Ineos power plant that I mentioned the other day. I went past it on a train, and it's way better on a train than walking, because you just see it out the window, and you're just like, whoa, look at that big crazy thing. And you just get a little view, and then you move on, and that's fine. And seeing that out the window is actually what made me think of that movie From Up on Poppy Hill, or whatever the fuck it's called. And because there is a part in that movie, I just kind of, I was just being cranky about it, but just to explain a little better, there is a point, the movie takes place in the 60s, and there's a point after about an hour where they do go into central Yokohama, and that part is really cool, because obviously I'm just more invested in the environment, in the place, and seeing an approximation of what the city looked like in the 60s was really cool. You see the buildings and the business suits and the cars, and just, it's a real city. It's like cool, and it's like, oh, there it is. And one of the things you briefly see are smokestacks in the distance, and it's like, oh man, it's so interesting to see where that's leading to, that's going to become insane in the future. But the movie itself mostly takes place, what is now just a part of Yokohama, at that time I guess was much more rural, so it feels like a different world. It's super rural, and it's just not only a thin story that's hard to give a shit about, it's the empty drama of it that is what I don't like. That's why I like shows like Yuru Camp and Super Cub and Nan Biori, that genre, Iyashike, that is distinctly, like, heavily plotless, deliberately plotless. And I really think that's a fucking interesting and bold way to go with slice of life. Like, let's just not pretend. This is what we're here for. We're here for the environment. We're here to soak in the vibes. In Eurocamp, we're here to see the lakes and to see the views of the mountain. We're not here for empty drama between characters. And unfortunately, this Studio Ghibli film, as with all of them, and as with all fucking movies, is full of empty drama. It's just like this shit that is like just so boring and just so pointless. But they're like, oh no, run, we gotta race to the car, get to the car in time, jump on the boat, we gotta go talk to an old man about a boring thing that no one fucking gives a shit about. It's brutal. I hate that feeling of like, oh, pay attention, or like you're being manipulated, like it's trying to pull your strings, and I'm just over it. I'm like, no way, man. I've seen too many movies, too many shows, read too many books. I'm not having my strings pulled anymore. I don't like this in my day, in my life. I don't want this. If you're not going to make the drama be about something that actually matters, then fucking don't have it at all. And unfortunately, this movie is very much mired in the past, the old style storytelling of just empty fucking drama. Which maybe that was a little more valuable back in the day when you had limited access to books and movies and TV. Now it's a flood. We have everything. Everything that's ever been made is at your fingertips at all times. I ain't got time for this fucking shit anymore. Fucking don't like it. I don't like it at all. So there we go. That's my... Just imagine that I did all that yammering while standing outside of a New Days in Ofuna Station. Probably additionally cranky because I had food that I had not yet eaten. Why I'm so cranky about it now that I've come home and taken a little nap is because I just legitimately didn't like it. The movie can fucking suck my balls. Alright, there we go. That's the part that I forgot to record. So yeah, this station, Ofuna, is definitely a fair bit larger than Haijima. It just looks the same. It's kind of laid out the same on the end I was at. But it's kind of cool because I could tell that even before, I'm walking down its little shopping promenade now, but even before I did this, I could tell because I sat there for like 20 minutes just eating all my food, sitting on a little bench eating all my food from New Days, watching some fucking crap on my phone. And stations, they're like, it's like a little heartbeat, you know? You can feel the pulse when a train comes in and everything gets real crowded and then it clears out. So that's how I could tell, though, that this station was a lot bigger, is that this was a very consistent pump, like the pump of the heart. People know people, people know people, people know people, people know people. Where at Haijima, it's like people, quiet, 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 people, quiet, 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 people. You know, you can feel the pump, the rhythm of the station. Man, though, despite the fact that this station is kind of big-ish, medium, not even medium, I don't know, bigger than Haijima, but it's got all these stores and shit, and it has no garbage cans anywhere. Not even in the convenience store. They will not accept their own trash, and even the drink machines don't have anywhere to put your can. They're just like, nope, not gonna do it. Just take your garbage somewhere else. We're just not gonna do it. We just aren't gonna do it. It's like, well, okay. All right, then I guess I'll take it to the next station. You got me. What am I supposed to do? Man, riding on the train and watching the little blue dot move further and further, and it's like, oh, where's this? And where's this next place? And oh, it goes to here? And oh, what's this? There's a mountain near there? Oh my God, what is that? Or this thing over here? There's so many things that it's like, oh, I just want to see what's there. I want to see what's around that corner, but I can't just go on the train forever. Got to stop somewhere. So I'm at Tsujido Station, Tsujido, because it's a pretty big neighborhood here, actually. This is not the closest to the shoreline. I think the next station is actually a touch closer, but close enough. So I'm heading down toward the water to Tsujido Seaside Park. And then the idea is I'll just walk west to Chigasaki Beach. And eventually there is a river in the way, the Sagami River. So that's probably as far as I can go, realistically. That's the plan, though, just to try to get down to the coast and see if I can walk along the coast. Because who knows, man, who knows how it works? I might not even be able to. I don't know what the coastline is like around here, but that's the experiment for today. And yeah, some of this other stuff that looks cool, I think I just need to explore a little more. Like this train goes to Odawara, and by there is Mount Hakone with Lake Ashi. Looks real cool, but I mean, that could be like a serious, severe mountain. Then I passed by this little area, Inoshima. seems really cool, but I don't know, it's like a weird bridge you gotta take to get out there. And there's another train station that is a lot closer, should I want to go there. So yeah, I think I need to do further research for the other stuff in this area. But yeah, I just love this, man. I love this feeling of just going, just moving, and just seeing these new places, and it's fucking great. I was thinking though, like this really makes me think like I really should move a lot more next time I'm in Japan, you know, just like get a bunch of Airbnbs sprinkled all over the place and just travel from place to place to place. Because it would be great to keep going, you know, it would be nice to just be able to travel this direction and just keep going. And the speed that you move into new areas it's ludicrous, you know, like I'm a good chunk of the way toward Mount Fuji already. Like if you just kept going, you really could cross the whole country very, very easily. But then I realized one thing that makes this so nice is all I got on me is a couple layers, you know, probably too many coats, but who knows, it could get cold once the sun goes down, so I gotta be on the safe side. But really just my little day bag, that's it. The trouble with if I was doing the, like if I didn't have to go back today, if I could just keep moving forward to a new place and never return, I would have my big bag with me. That would be the trouble. And that would make this a lot less fun. Like that had not occurred to me till just now. Like if I do set up a thing where I just keep traveling across Japan next time, am I gonna have my wheelie bag with me all the time? That's pretty fucking not fun. But I just really don't know how much I can chop it down. I mean, everything I own fits in a stinking book bag, and I think it's pretty cool that I'm never wanting for stuff, you know? I never go like, oh, I wish I had this or that. Maybe I wish I had some crazy glue, or I wish I had a sewing kit, but if I needed it bad enough, I could go to a dollar store and just buy that shit. Because specifically my winter coat needs a little patching, but if I can make it to spring, I'm just abandoning this fucking coat anyway. I think I've done pretty good whittling things down, but like how much more can I? I guess that's the thing though, each of these things doesn't seem like a big deal. It's like, oh, well, it's just a little bit, but I guess the little bits add up. Because then the main thing would be clothing. Well, the main thing would be a laptop. Not bringing a laptop would definitely help. It's the heaviest thing. But I can't do that, you know. I could almost live without a laptop. It's really just editing software. I just can't properly edit stuff on a phone and do all the fucking FTP, RSS, goddamn bullshit. I mean, almost I could. I don't want to though. It's like having your fingers glued together doing stuff on a phone. I do need a laptop, but that would help. The other thing I guess would be clothing. If I did really just bail out on clothes, and it would be kind of fun to just buy clothes as I go. I wish I could just build up some big, strong military man marine muscles and just carry my stupid book bag and not have it be a problem, but that just ain't happening. I'm not an upper body strength man. It just makes my shoulders deteriorate into dust. Anyway, here's a coffee machine with Zelda coffee. I can't see the coast at all. I'm just walking down. Very nice little neighborhood, but just walking down a neighborhood. Let's get me some Zelda coffee. It's warm enough out that I'm gonna get cold Zelda coffee. There's actually two. There's one hot one and two cold ones. Two cold options, right or left? Let's go left. Who is it? Is it that stupid bird again? No, it's Zelda. Princess Zelda. I'll take it. Cheers, Zelda. Although, your voice actress can fuck right off. Oh, Link. What has happened to your arm? Oh, no. Oh, no. That's a spot-on impression, by the way. Man, I just passed a place called American House Diner, which had, you know, burgers and steaks and shit. And they had a sign that said, "Dogs welcome." They have like a terrace, "Dogs welcome." And it's like, wow, that's not very American. I've never seen a restaurant in North America where dogs are welcome. I think if you have a seeing eye dog or something like that, then maybe they could sort something out. But even that, I think it's highly discouraged. But I think that is just a sign of how many dogs there are. I haven't noticed as many around here, but I figured I harped on it enough when I was walking around Naka Ward. I didn't need to keep bringing it up, but man, yesterday, so many dogs. And then I got to that cool park with the 3 lakes, and the dog levels went super bananas. I mean, obviously at a park you're gonna see more dog walkers, but it was just out of fucking control. So many dogs. Man, that's one thing. So the guy, Quinlan of Go North Japan, the interview I watched with him about his 20-some years living in Japan, the 10 years he lived in Tokyo, he lived in northern Tokyo, near my beloved Ikebukuro, a little north of there even. And he was saying how back in like 2003, it was quite a bit more notable to be a foreigner. There was a lot less English. People cared that he was a white guy, it seemed relevant. He said he made friends just based on the fact that there were other white guys. God, kids are fucking loud. Shut the fuck up. Every time I go by kids anywhere in the world, it's nothing to do with Japan. Why are they always yelling? What is up with that? Anyway, yeah, he said back in the early 2000s, he made friends with people just because they were other foreigners. Like there was few enough that was a sensible thing to do, is to go like, oh geez, look at you, you're an American, let's be friends. Where now, yeah, there's foreigners everywhere. He said there was a lot less English. It really makes me think like, man, it must have been another world when my friend Ken moved here in the late 70s. So like, what the heck, if even just 20 years ago was so different. But one thing he mentioned is that area around Ikebukuro was so much worse. Now, it's like fun seedy. It's seedy in the way that like an idiot like me is like, oh, this place is cool, I like it. But it used to be for real seedy, like the station north of Ikebukuro. He said he was there one morning and there was like a guy, clearly a Yakuza guy, on the phone in his suit, and he had blood all over him. And just whatever awful Yakuza stuff he got up to the night before, he was calling it in, I guess. It's like, dude, yeah. It's kind of like how by the time I went to New York, people are like, oh, you didn't see the taxi driver New York, you didn't see the really rough New York, Times Square, whatever. And I think that's okay. I don't really want to, man. The graffiti on the subway cars was cool, but there's a level of grime that is a little much. But I just thought that was interesting, just how much things have changed just in 20 years. Which again, I mean, I feel like I probably came to Japan at a good time. I don't really think coming here 20 years ago when I was a very young man, I don't know that would have been the best time. I mean, obviously, as you get older, your stupid hips hurt, your stupid knees hurt, etc., etc. But as far as my brain goes, I think I came here at a good time in my life. You are here. I've made it to the park. There are cool palm-looking trees here. Sports fields and stuff. Still don't see the shore, so let's continue on and see if I can get to there. I want to go to there. Man, you never know on these little adventures. You never quite know how it's gonna go. How's it gonna turn out? What's gonna be on the other side? And my first impression of this beach is that it's fucking perfect. What the shit? This is crazy, man. I just kind of assumed because so much of the waterfront area in Japan is very inaccessible and everything is just crowded and stuff. I guess maybe in the summer, I mean, it is January. Maybe in the summer it's more peopled. But this is insane, man. So I'm pretty much just right at that beach. I'm at the beach just behind Sujido Seaside Park. I walked down from the station and then just had to walk east a little bit, and I found a little walkway that goes underneath the road that's near here. And immediately surfers. That's the one people type that is here. It's 90% surfers. Quite a few surfers everywhere. Surfing. I remember that was like a joke a joke version of how to write a terrible first sentence. Or I guess it was like, it's like a contest. It's a contest they do to write the worst opening sentence possible for a book. And one of the winners was Jeff, carrying his surfboard, said to his surfing friend walking next to him, "Hey, do you like surfing?" You know, that's what's going on here. Anyway, this beach stretches way far down to the east. I could have started much more easterly from here if I could have got there. I don't know how to get there on the trains and stuff, but I can see that Inoshima Island. I should really try to figure out what train takes me to that, because that thing is wild. It is like a really tall, like big, overgrown, really wild looking island. It's some serious shit out there, whatever that is. It's quite a ways in the distance, but it looks enticing and terrifying at the same time. And then there are some buildings and resort kind of looking places and stuff along the beach, but it seems to stretch all the way from Inoshima to here and then continues on west. And yeah, it's just like, it is kind of a rough beach as far as like there's rocks and wood and stuff, but there's no garbage or anything. And there's just really not that many people. I can see a little bit of people further on. Where I am is definitely Surfer Grand Central. This is the place for surfing. Let's see here. I just was like, let me do a quick count. I hit 12 people without moving my eyes. So I'm gonna guess, I can probably see 100 people right now, and they're mostly surfers. And I don't know shit about surfing, but oh, there's some guys. I was gonna say the waves, I'm not sure how great the waves are, but there they go. That's what they're doing. Okay, so these guys are all just floating in the water waiting for the waves to come. And then they spring to action. And of course there's some old ladies, and there is one dog. One dog on the beach. Requisite dog. And yeah, then further west from here, you can see a bunch of mountains on the horizon. I'm pretty sure I read that you can see Fuji from here theoretically, but I cannot. It disappears into the haze. But you can still see a lot of mountains on the horizon, and I don't see anybody to the west. It just looks like empty, open beach is the way I'm heading after I sit here for a while. But I mean, that's a sign of how fucking amazing this is usually I'm just like, all right, keep on rolling, keep on moving, just keep walking. I'm just sitting here on this little rock wall because I just like, holy fuck, this is the spot, dude. It's all downhill from here. This is the peak of the day. It's not gonna get better than this. Just sit your ass down and soak this shit in. It is so fucking nice. Then again, I just got like the god draw for weather. It's nice and sunny, basically warm, but kind of breezy. The little chill in the air from this morning passed, so it's really just nice. It's just fucking nice. At this point, I still got my coats on. I don't have to take them off, but we'll see. I might have to take them off, but the wind is counterbalancing things very nicely. And I wonder, I don't really get wetsuits. I've never had one on. I guess the idea is that there's a layer of water that gets warmed by your body heat. Is that it? Because I don't know how these people are getting away with this shit. They're just walking around in their wetsuits like it's nothing. That seems very cold to me, but I guess I just never tried one. Obviously they must work. That's what everybody wears. It seems cold though. But yeah, this is a nice fucking day for surfing. I suppose it is. It's Monday today, is that right? So that probably helps as well. Yeah, it's Monday, 1:30 in the afternoon. Good time for the beach to be empty. Good time if you got the time to be a surfer. Good time to come surfing. And the wind is, you know, not the biggest waves of all time, but I guess they're big enough. Damn, this is really fucking cool, man. It wasn't exactly a quick journey, but it wasn't that bad either. Whatever little videos and shit I had pre-downloaded on my phone, I have not remotely finished watching. So it eats up the journey pretty fast. This is where though I really gotta buckle down after I leave Japan. Because like that is the time of day I should be using to write my stupid fucking novels and shit while I'm sitting on a train. It's like the perfect time. But I've been fucking the dog while I'm in Japan. But hey, whatever, dude, fuck it, I'm in Japan. I'm giving myself a pass. But after I leave here, I gotta stop. Because that's the perfect time. It's like when you're just on a train, you know, you're in transit, you're in between spaces. Do some writing, it's perfect. It's a perfect way to use up the time in your day, but instead I'm just wasting it watching fucking dumb shit. But yeah, I don't know, just Japan, man. That's my excuse, Japan. Anyway, yeah, this is goodness me, this is very nice. I guess I mean, I didn't have particular expectations, but whatever expectations I did have were certainly less than this. Because even if I compare it to other shorelines, you know, like Vancouver and stuff, or even other shorelines here in Japan, like there was that really nice shoreline I found on those islands north of Fukuoka, and they were unpeopled in a bad way. There's like garbage on them and stuff. Although it was a pretty long shoreline, so it was nice in that sense. And in Vancouver, it's just tough to find a beach that goes this far. This is like, it really stretches like pretty much as far as I can see both ways. It's fucking crazy. The only reason I know that it ends is because of Google Maps. And, you know, it doesn't end, it just hits rivers and stuff that I'd have to cross over. Maybe it keeps going. This is really fucking good. This is really fucking good. This would be the kind of thing that, I don't know what kind of Airbnbs there are out here, but this would be the kind of thing that would be worth posting up near and just hanging out by here. And this Enoshima place, look at this fucking place. It looks like the fucking Lost World. It looks like it's out of time. It looks like the ancient world. What the fuck is that? I gotta look that up for sure. I guess this is good because, you know, when, once I explored Naka Ward, and then it's like, yeah, cool, Yokohama is very nice, I like it, but I really did see what there is to see quite quickly, because there's, you know, it's just not that big of an area. Was a little, you know, not quite sure what to do next. What do I do on my last stretch in Japan? I'm not saying this is what I'm gonna do, but this could easily be what I do. You could come here every fucking day, dude, this is great. I say that, but in 2 days I'll be bored of it. Ah, paradise? Get out of here. I saw paradise yesterday. but that's the feeling now. The feeling right now. And just, yeah, looking out into the water too. This is not like the other bay areas up around Tokyo and Yokohama where, you know, you see more city on the other side of the water. Here I can see some mountain way in the distance and one boat way in the distance, but it's basically just open sea. It's fucking cool. Pictures do not do this shit justice though. The first thing I did when I got here was try to take a picture, but the tiny little framing, I'd have to do one of those panorama pictures that is like incredibly long, but then is completely unviewable. You know, there's not much point, I don't think, to those. If I could take a VR picture, I suppose, that might be pretty good. Probably someone has. If you're in VR right now, I don't know, go look that shit up. Man, this is a weird feeling because it's kind of like the absence of, like it really is, it's weird to think how uncommonly I've just sort of sat somewhere and just stayed in one place. In Japan, but kind of all over the place. It's weird to be by the water, and it's like if there was a light level of anxiety, say, that was just always there, so I didn't know it was there. You know, if it's just the way things are, if it's just continuous, then that's just how you feel. And it's just weird to be in a place where it's like, oh geez, I never even knew that was there, because while I'm here, it's not there. You know, it's just like, like the way I always play either ocean sounds or rain sounds at night to go to bed. Those sounds are just here all the time. It's just automatic. It's just the water. Because there's like a street behind me. I'm not sure how busy it is, but I can't hear it at all. It's just the ocean. This is nice too, because I was thinking how ever since I found that mountain in 2019 behind Umebayashi Station in Fukuoka, I started getting it in my head that like if I was ever to retire somewhere, I want to retire to a place like this, a place where I can leave my house and so easily go on a very moderate mountain hike, because it would be such a nice way to stay in shape and stuff. But it's a really hard situation to replicate because you kind of got to be in Japan for mountains to be that awesome and that close to your house, and then close to transit and close to convenience stores, close to everything. Whereas runner-up would definitely be just being by the water. I mean, it's obviously not as good exercise-wise for hiking. I'm sure there's some exercise just to walking in the sand. But the nice thing is, as a consolation prize, as a runner-up, this is replicable. I've been in situations like this plenty of times. This is an especially good coastline, but this is not unique to Japan. I've been to plenty of places like this, especially on the West Coast in the Vancouver area. But even, like Lake Ontario does a pretty good facsimile of this. And yeah, it just feels right. It just feels like, and I mean, I wonder, this could be looking too deep into it, but I wonder if there is something with like ancient peoples or whatever. Like, you obviously wanted to be by the ocean. There's so many benefits to being by the ocean. There's so much you get out of it. Why have dirt in every direction when one of the directions could be water and could open up all these other avenues of resources and of stuff you can do? I think it's just natural to want to be by the water. And man, yeah, it just feels freaking good. And also, I mean, my hometown is just a river, but it's a real big river. That probably seeped into my brain somewhat as well. But yeah, usually I feel the little anxious kick of like, hey, don't just sit around, don't just stay here, get moving, go somewhere else. Where here I kind of feel the opposite. It's like, wow, that's a long walk down that beach to the next station. I'll get to it, but kind of just want to stay right here, just want to sit here. Speaking of sitting right here, I've been watching these surfers. I've seen people surfing here and again, but I've never seen a whole school of surfers. Like when I was saying there's like 100 people, it's pretty much, that sounds like a lot of people, but it's like there's a dollop to my left, some in front of me, some to my right, and then just all surfers. In fact, I think, there's one person who's not a surfer, and then there's some people that are doing video stuff. Yeah, it's become even more surfers though. But I've never really watched surfers before in a concentration like this, and I wonder if this is what it's always like, because I've only ever seen surfing on, video and stuff, where you get the most extreme close-ups and you get it to look as exciting as possible. And I guess a lot of what I've seen are much bigger waves, but I'm surprised that they're not farther out. I mean, they're probably farther out than it looks, but they can't be more than 50 meters out into the water. And I just presumed they'd be farther out, but I guess there's no waves out there. The waves only form near the shore. But probably that is just because this is perfect, nice breeze weather, nice sound of water weather, perfect for me weather, but I guess for them, these waves are probably a little small. So yeah, maybe if it's a crazier day, maybe they are farther out. Yeah, and like here comes a wave, and then they hop up, or they like really quickly paddle to go along with the wave, and then hop up on their feet, and it seems like a pretty short ride. But I guess this is also that California thing, just in movies or whatever, you just like, hey, yeah, how's the waves today, man? It's like, I just never really thought about surfing. It seems pretty cool, but I don't know anything about the actual ins and outs of it. It's like, yeah, I guess that would be a common question, right? Like, you're up to, you gotta leave it up to nature. How are the waves today? If the waves ain't no good, I guess you gotta go pioneer skateboarding on a banana board, because you can't surf without the waves. So maybe this is just a midday for waves. Fucking good day for weather though. Fuck, it's nice out. And man, just looking out at the water and just seeing that perfect line on the horizon of just the water disappearing into the distance. It's so good, because that is one thing in Yokohama proper, with all the stuff, all the piers and things, that is one thing I noticed at night specifically does weird me out a little, is walking over all the little bridges across the canals and stuff. You do walk across some pretty wide stretches of water, and that dark water thing, that black water, I never specifically recognized that that's a fear, but I feel like it ties in a bit maybe to my fear of heights, because walking across a big expanse of extremely dark water, I mean, I guess I've kind of done that with bridges and stuff, It's very similar to a fear of heights, where it just feels like the fathomless descent. You're just like, whoa, what's down there, you know? It does not freak me out nearly as much as heights, but I do feel it. It's like, I don't like this all that much. Where this feeling, I mean, man, it's just water. It's like abstract. It's like a concept more than it is anything. And you'd have to go way far out before it even gets deep, you know? I could just wade in there up to my neck and I'd be fine. This just feels good. Just feels damn good. In fact, once I do start walking down the beach, I'll probably do the walk along the edge, try to gauge where the line of the waves hit, and then every once in a while there's a big one and you gotta leap out of the way. It's just fun. I like stuff like that. Like, well, there's this little pier in near the end of the beaches in the beaches neighborhood of Toronto, where on real windy days, I would go stand out there sometimes. There's this one Airbnb I used to go to all the time that was right across the street from there. And when the waves would crash up and splash all over you, I would just go stand there like an idiot and just try to avoid the water. And it feels like, it's like playing with a puppy or something. It's that feeling of recognition, you know, of just like you know, playing with a puppy is more fun than playing with a bouncy ball, because the bouncy ball doesn't know you're there, but the puppy does. And, you know, you get that reciprocal consciousness where big crashing waves and splashing water and just Mother Nature type shit, it feels like playing with a puppy in a weird way to me. It's like Mother Nature sees you, or it's like Mother Nature has a consciousness that is fucking with you, is playing with you. Which it is not, but hey, if it feels that way, man, well, then it's the same thing. It's close enough. You know, I guess I've only been here for an hour. It's not that much time in the grand scheme of a day, but this feels like an extremely long time for me to just have hunkered down somewhere and to just be like, yeah, this is it. When's the last time I stopped somewhere for a freaking hour? I guess there's been the occasional day sitting at a coffee shop with my laptop, but even that's been pretty rare. I haven't done that too much. Yeah, because I was just thinking like, like not only do I not really want to leave from here, I was like thinking, imagine if I had a little shack, you know, like a modern day shack, a nice, super well insulated, weather resistant shack. But I could go in my little shack and make sure there's no crabs. Get out of here, crabs. Make sure there's no tiny sea life in there. Get out, scoot. But yeah, if I could just stay in a little place down here by the water, imagine how fucking great that would be as the sun went down, just stick around on my laptop all night, pass out. Then in the morning I could wake up and step outside to this. God, can you imagine this real early in the morning? Fucking Jesus, that would be nice. Man, I wish I had a little more control over my ability to sleep. Because it really is only, it's a little more than an hour to get here. It's really not that bad. If I woke up early and just hopped on the train, like I could come to this Inoshima place or whatever early in the morning. But I mean, I just realistically, I really can't. I just can't, you know? That would mean getting like 4 hours of sleep and it would just make the whole day a nightmare. But that sounds pretty nice. I keep noticing too behind me, I guess because I walked under this thing. I walked under the road and then under this boardwalk thing or whatever, so I didn't realize it was here. People keep going by behind me with bicycles or with dogs or with surfboards. So I don't have to walk down the beach, I don't think, which is probably good because, yeah, I'm feeling with the, not just the ankles, but my whole back of my legs, the back of my shin, whatever that part of the leg is called. Very tight, very tight. I think walking on the sand would probably not do me any favors. But it looks like there is a little walk space. So I can still walk along the beach, but not on the actual sand part of the beach. I just, the only way this could be more perfect is I did realize on my way in here, not that I'm hungry, but I did wish I'd brought some little snacky snacks. It'd be nice to have some little snackies down here, because there does not appear to be anyone here to sell me snackies, but that's also probably why there's no garbage on this beach. Although I say that, when you sit in one place long enough, things slowly reveal themselves. I noticed a bottle, actually let me go take a look at this thing, mostly buried in the sand, just a little bit poking out. And then over here I saw, where did it go? a single AAA battery amongst the rocks and driftwood. What is this bottle? 600 milliliter Kirin tea, almost entirely covered by the sand. Geez, yeah, it's still got tea in it. Has it even been opened? This is like a fucking... I don't think this has even been opened. This is like when people leave their offerings at a shrine, except they've apparently left it as an offering to the beach. Anyway, this barely even counts as garbage. I'm not going to drink it, but I will toss it in my pocket and throw it the fuck away. I wonder how long it's been here. I probably could drink it, but I guess that's the other thing that is lacking down here is washrooms. But there is one. I passed one on the way in. I got to backtrack back across the road to go pee before I continue my adventure. Because, yeah, this, I can't totally see the whole shoreline, but man, it is barren. There's nothing there, man. Ooh, yeah, my shins, or my backs of my legs, I mean, my reverse shins. Ooh, they're so tendy. They're so tendy. I don't know if I'm sold on surfing, though. I mean, I don't think I got the physical wherewithal anyway. I would probably just tear my shoulders to pieces. I'm sure it's very physically demanding. But I mean, obviously this is not a perfect surfing day. But what they've been doing, I mean, I've been sitting here for an hour watching them. It doesn't seem that great. And I'm sure it is way better on bigger days. But yeah, just to be at the mercy, to put on your wetsuit and walk all the way here with your surfboard and just be at the mercy of the weather. What a kick in the dick. And then even a day like this, like I said, there's like 100 fucking surfers down here. They're still, you know, they're kind of clumped together. There's probably a slightly annoying level of proximity to other surfers. But yeah, I think it's safe to say if I haven't gone surfing yet at this point in my life, it was never coming. but yeah, I'm like, I think that's okay. I kind of feel all right that I missed out on the experience of surfing in this life. It doesn't seem that hot, doesn't seem that amazing. They're in the fucking ocean right now. Wetsuit or not, that shit's gotta be cold, man. It just has to be cold. I mean, I'm a snow person, I guess. I would be, if I was gonna do this type of thing, it would be snowboarding for sure. Though, is it the only time I went skiing? I think it might be. I twisted my ankle really bad. Whatever. I'm not gonna do any of this stuff. I'm not a sportsman. I think we're all aware of that. That's fine. I'm just some fucking dickhead standing here criticizing the people living their best lives as surfer men. So I should probably just shut the fuck up. Oh, there is a date on this tea. This tea is still all good. It would be funny if I opened it up and it actually is piss, but no, it's totally is fine. It's just tea. Just Kirin tea. That's kind of nice too. I mean, the fact that it's an unopened bottle suggests this is not litter. Someone just dropped this by accident. That's just, you know, I don't know what the deal is with the AAA battery. That's kind of weird. But it's a little bit like that really ancient can I found on the mountain by Ome, where that can had been there so long it was kind of pretty. Somehow a single AAA battery on the beach doesn't feel inappropriate. You know, there should be some sign that human beings once were here. Once we're all gone, it's going to be the only thing left of us is our AAA batteries. I feel like one tiny battery, which I've already lost. I can't even find it anymore. Oh, there it is. It's almost nice. Saying that though, I just picked it up, so now I can't put it back down because then I would be littering. I'm afraid I have to take custody of this now. Mr. Max brand AAA battery, made in China. Alright, I guess you're coming with me, fucking Mr. Max. I'll find a garbage can for you, you fuck. You fuck yeah. Yeah, it's been here for a while, but not long enough to be pretty. Just long enough to be fucked up. Well, been a while. February 2023 was when this one expired. All these dates, I guess, these are all in the past for you, dear listener. All these things are expired now. So maybe I should speak of it in relative terms. The tea has 6 more months of life in it, where the battery went bad 11 months ago. Those are the relevant dates. Fucking shit, dude, this is so nice. Yeah, and it's really not that far. Literally, if I do this every day till I go, I'm sure I'll come up with other adventures, but man, I can think of worse things to do. If not this specific spot, there's so much shoreline. Maybe this will be my new quest. Just explore the shore. Oh, I found one more thing, an old used up firecracker. I am leaving this one because it looks fucking cool. It's all burned up and it's like the perfect brown color that it fits in with the sand, and I just don't want to carry a firecracker around with me. I'm gonna bury it. You get to stay here. So there, I'm not a fully good Samaritan. I picked up 2 pieces of trash and I left 1. But yeah, an old firecracker, that really is kind of neat. That thing is just kind of cool. That's got a story to tell. When I was, I don't remember the name of the park, and I'm not going to look it up right now, but the park, when I was in Naka Ward and I didn't pay to go to the fancy, the super fancy $9 Rose Garden, and I just went to the local park nearby instead. When you go up and up and up that park to the highest point, there was a sign that said, "Do not set off fucking fireworks." And it had not occurred to me till I saw that sign, but that's the next thought I had is like, oh, this is a good fucking place to set off fireworks. It's one of the highest points around here. That would be really cool. Geez, yeah, this is like, I mean, I guess this is what beachcombing's all about, right? When you get metal detectors. The more you look, the more stuff reveals itself. Where'd that go? Here we go, it's a coin. 10 yen. Okay. I'll take you, 10 yen. I'll give you a good home. If you were less than 10, I would think about it, but you can use 10 yen coins in the machines, so sure, why not? A filthy 10 yen coin, don't mind if I do. Geez, now I'm getting sand all over my hands. Okay, I gotta stop exploring. Oh, here's a little piece of broken glass, like brown glass, like a beer bottle. So you don't really see that type of beer bottle around here that much. More often you see it in little bottles of vitamin C drinks. Yeah. I mean, literally this whole little spot I'm on, it's like 2 meters by 4 meters, and I just keep finding stuff. Just the more you look, the more stuff pops up. This is getting weird. Actually, maybe this is the sign that it's time to move on. I'm just staring and down into the... Here's an especially cool shell. Yeah, I'm just staring at the sand at this point. This is getting weird. I think that's a sign. It's time to go. Soon. Not quite yet. Almost. All right, I cracked the tea, emptied it out, took the bottle back to its bottle land where it lives, near the washroom that's by here, and the battery still lives in my back pocket till I find a proper garbage, but the 10 cents that I found, the 10 yen that I found on the beach, gave me just enough to buy a nice milk tea that I would have been 10 yen short for. It's like my good Samaritanness got paid off. I got paid 10 cents for picking up some garbage from the beach. Oh, in fact, fuck no, here it is. Here's the 10 yen. I didn't put it in my wallet, so I had, never mind. I had enough money. But next time something's 110, that happens sometimes, and I'm just like, oh, there we go. In you go, in you go. All right, so now I gotta get up onto this boardwalky thing. Unfortunately, I'm walking into the sun, but walking west to at least the next station. Maybe 2 stations, I guess we'll see. Yeah, look at this shit. Can walk along the beach if that's your jam. But there's this nice boardwalk too. Not a boardwalk, it's like just a paved thing. Walkway. But yeah, I extra can't really walk on the beach because of my flat feet, my fallen arches. If I take off my shoes and walk through the sand that way, I will fustigate myself. Although from up here I can hear the traffic. maybe it's worth walking down on the sand because it makes a lot of difference. Just being down behind the dunes, all of a sudden you can't hear the road. That might be worth it. Well, whatever, I'll walk up here for a bit. Oh wait, can I get down here? Yeah, fuck it, at least while I got my recorder out. Down on the sand. It is pretty firm sand, it's not very loose, so this might be alright. I'll go walk down by the water. Yeah, geez, there's somebody bicycling along the edge of the water. There's a dramatic man. But yeah, that's some firmly packed sand. Anyway, as I went up there to return the bottle, there's a bunch of bigger apartment type buildings, and I think there's some kind of resort near here. But there was one smallish, older building. It was still 2 stories and just, you know, had clothing on their back porch hanging out to dry. And I was like, oh, that's the one. That's the house I want. If I was some rich megalomaniac, like the Vietnamese lady from the Watchmen TV show, who's just like, I need your property. I'm gonna make you an offer you insanely can't refuse. I'm getting this property. That's the house I would want. I want to live in that house. It's so easy to get to the beach from there. It's perfect. It's like there's this one house by the beaches, by the pier I was talking about earlier, which is not an old house. Would be very expensive, probably a fucking $2 million house, if even, maybe more. But that's the house I want in Toronto. That's the house where I'd be like, I don't know what I have to do to get this house. Do I have to threaten your family? I'll do it. Give me that house. That's what I want. Oh yeah, this is a trade-off for sure. It is nicer to be on the beach and hearing the water instead of the traffic. But my famously healing hip right away is like, what are you doing? What is this? This is not the right terrain for me. I'll head back up onto the platform imminently. Maybe right now, because I don't know. I could have swore there was something else I was gonna say, and now I don't know what it was. This is like some Zewataneo shit. A warm place with no memory. Like, it just makes my brain turn off. Like, I don't know, whatever, man, whatever I was gonna say, who cares? Just walking along the beach. Oh, is that fucking Fuji? I guess I could see Fuji the whole time. I just was around a dune, so I couldn't see it. There you are, buddy. There you are. That makes sense, because I'm really not that far away. At this point, it does seem like the weather is less of a factor for whether or not you can see Fuji. I think from around here you can probably mainly just, maybe I just got lucky today, but I'm guessing you can probably more or less see Fuji from around here. Because yeah, if I hopped on the train and went straight to Fuji, I would be there before sundown. It's not that far. And it's a big ass mountain. Fuck. That's fucking, what the fuck? Like, this was already perfect, and now you can see Mount Fuji in the distance. What in the sweet shit is fucking going on, man? This really paid off, dude. This random ass trip. I'm glad that the train to Zushi didn't exist, and I ended up drifting west instead. This really turned out. This is fucking good. Oh, and actually, being down here right by the water, it's like pebbles, you know, it's not sand. I can walk on this. This doesn't feel bad. This feels fine. However, I'm going to turn off this recorder because it's pretty fucking loud, man. These might not be great waves for surfing, but for a mere mortal man, they're pretty big. Oh, I remembered what I was gonna say. First off, yeah, this beach is very easy to walk along. It is really firmly packed down here by the water. So I have been walking along the edge, and every once in a while, an especially big wave comes and I have to run away. But yeah, up where I was near the edge, the upper edge of the beach, it was very loose sand where I was finding all of my secret hidden bottles and batteries. But down here, yeah, it's just like ground. I can still see my little footprints behind me, but it's very firmly packed. Very nice. So even though I'm walking toward the sun, I'm also walking toward Fuji. Well, that balances out. That's pretty cool just to see it in front of you. But I was gonna say, maybe this is why, looking back upon my journeys through Japan, I keep trying to get to water. I'm like, can I get to the Tama? Darn, I can't get to the edge. Can I get to the Arakawa? Darn, I can't get to the edge. You know, it's hard to get to the actual edges of rivers sometimes in Tokyo. And then whenever I see a lake on the map, I'm like, oh, sweet, a lake. Let's go to a lake. You know, in hindsight, I was trying to get to water kind of a lot. And all that stuff is nice, but man, compared to this insane endlessness, that one boat that I saw is a lot closer now. I can see it much more clearly. It's a great big ship. I think I see another boat way out there somewhere. That Enoshima Island doesn't look like it's changed position at all. It looks exactly the same size. So it must be pretty big. But yeah, this is like, I mean, if being near water is a nice, comforting thing for a person, it's like getting your dick sucked. It's delightful. But then you come to the enormous craziness of the fucking ocean, the endless supersize of it, and it's like getting your dick sucked by a fucking angel. Bam! It's way better. I can't think of a better way to describe that. That seems like that pretty much fucking nails it. And then on a much smaller scale, but you know, I love learning little things. Because information does not really stick in my brain unless I directly learn it somewhere. Like there's a lot of these places where I realize like, oh, I did watch, you know, some YouTuber do a video about one of these places I've been like 4 years ago, but I don't remember every stupid detail of every dumb little thing that I saw. Like that name Enoshima really sounds familiar. I've probably seen a video about it at some point. The shopping part, or like whatever, where the Ferris wheel and stuff is in Yokohama, is called Mirato Mirai. And I'm like, I know I've heard that name, but yeah, none of these things, they just don't stick in my brain until I do them myself. So this is an example of that. Very small little thing. But it never occurred to me that after you're done surfing, you gotta go rinse off. Up by the washroom, there was like a little lineup of people waiting to get under a shower to rinse all the seawater off of their wetsuit. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess so. Seawater, right? You get all fucked up, get all crusty and salty. It's probably not, I mean, again, I don't know the specifics. I assume it's a combination of it's just not very pleasant feeling and maybe it's bad for your suit. But I never realized that. Like, oh yeah, you gotta rinse off after you've been in the water. How strange. Because it's the wrong kind of water. Just a little teeny dumb thing, but it just never, I never crossed paths with that phenomenon before. And now it's a thing that I know through direct observation. So probably I'll remember. How nice for me. I learned a thing. I know I think I brought it up before on this podcast, but that is one of the more annoying things that has cropped up in the post-internet age. Are this like particular kind of internet nerd that just cannot believe you don't know something. Oh, you didn't know this? You didn't know that? And it's like, yeah, I get it. Everything is on the internet. You can Google everything. It doesn't mean you know everything. It just means that when a question comes up, you can Google it and then act like you know. It's so fucking annoying. But presumably that's not you, dear listener, because if it was, then you'd be a stupid asshole. So I'm gonna presume that's not you. I'll probably cut all that. Who cares? Who cares about that? Well, this shit gets kind of rough as you go. So there's a bunch of construction vehicles that are just doing beach stuff. I guess I have no idea how the maintenance of a beach works. What do you need to do? Because I'm not quite sure what they're doing besides moving sand around or whatever, but I guess they're doing something. And then a little later on, the walking path, because I couldn't walk on the proper beach because of the vehicles, And then the walking path is completely covered in sand dunes, just like boom. So I kind of snuck up through some nice little woodsy areas closer to the road. Ooh, there's Fuji again. Oh, that's a nice view. But yeah, with the sun going down and it is getting increasingly rugged out here, I was thinking of trying to walk 2 stations, but I think just one's enough. So Chigasaki is the plan. I'm almost at Chigasaki Beach, up through Chigasaki Park, up to Chigasaki Station. The reverse of what I did when I got here, just at the next station over. Yeah, there's more backhoe type stuff going on in the distance. All I know about beach maintenance is in Grand Theft Auto 5, if you go early in the morning, there's vehicles that are raking kind of the sand, which I also didn't know was a thing. But I presume Grand Theft Auto in that sense is based on reality. Man, there's like some little, it's like pretty flat looking little rock outcroppings out in the water with like one big rock that juts out. And I managed to find it on Google Maps. Oh, maybe. I think this is it. Eboshi Iwa, Ubajima. And yeah, there's several little bits here. Uba Island. It has reviews, which I can't read because I don't have the internet right now. But if I think of it, I'm going to look that up later. What could the reviews possibly say? You know? I mean, it's just funny that everything has reviews. But yeah, this is pretty dang good, especially for like a first exploratory thing. Not too fucking shabby. I think, well, I was going to say it might be better to start further west on the beach and walk east just so the sun would be at one's back. But I guess with all this construction and stuff, I'm not totally sure what's going on with this stretch of beach. Maybe I'll just be exploring other bits of beach in other places instead. This specific beach might not be the beach to rush right back to, because this Chigasaki part is not currently at its best. It is currently in flux. But overall, man, because I was also thinking like when I was in Chiba, that day in Chiba when I was really hungover, and I just tried to get to the beach, and by the time I got there it was dark, so I can't fully say how it went, but it didn't go great. It was like really hard to get to the water, and then once I got there it didn't seem to be much water, and it was just like a pain in the ass. I was just like, ah, fuck, you know, because I was hoping for something a little more like this, and it just was never happening. It was just not happening anywhere near Tokyo. And then boom, all of a sudden here it is. What the fuck? You know? It's like just all of a sudden they dumped 1,000,000 pounds of enormous ocean amazingness right on my fucking head. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just looking down the coastline and it looks like there's more where this came from. So I think this is my new mission. This is my new plan. But yeah, this is also a good time to bail out because I'm getting a little hungry. A little hungry in my belly. So, thank you for joining me on this fucking beach adventure. I'm pretty goddamn pleased with how this worked out. You know, I'm pretty sure this time of year, even though the weather's quite good this year, I'm pretty sure Fuji is not actually open in the winter. I don't think they let you climb up it. But just imagine if I just kept walking from here. If I just walked to Fuji, walked and walked and walked and just walked right to the top and then walked right down the other side. I don't even think I could physically do that. Certainly not with the equipment I have or lack of equipment I have. But it's a fun thought. What if you just walked? What if you just walked right up it for no fucking reason? That'd be cool. All right, cars to the right of me, backhoes ahead of me. Definitely, this beach is getting a little weird, so good time to bail out. Go find a station. I'll talk to you next time. See you later.